Hey everybody, Strangers103 here. Today with another replay cast, bringing you guys a Midway game. It's off my live stream, but I'm just casting over it. If I sound a little bit funny, or if I'm mumbling any more than I normally do, I mean, I sound funny anyways, I guess, right? It's because I actually managed to, rather painfully, bite my own lips. Like, how the fuck I managed that? Who knows? I'm stupid, right? Just, you know, what can I say? Anyways, I'm playing with my good baguette friend Extinct, known him for quite a few years, but he's playing in his Yamato, which is something quite interesting because I'm in a Midway, obviously guaranteeing us an opposing aircraft carrier, and they have a Montana and Des Moines in a division, obviously meaning they have good anti-air with a Hakuryu giving them good control of the map and flow. Now I'm starting off my autopilot. I actually want to head like towards here with my headwind launch, but autopilot gets screwed with Extinct being, you know, a bit slow to move his ship, so I actually take it into manual control just to turn my bow in towards where I want it, because turning away like that is absolutely fucking retarded. And in this case against an actually quite competent enemy carrier, which is also why I believe I know is a rather cheeky player, and we'll see that later on. This could actually get our Z-52 killed. I'm not going to spoil anything, he doesn't die to the carrier, but oh well, so much for not spoiling shit, am I right? Don't ever watch movies with me, especially not ones I've seen, I'm shit. Sorry, I have something in my throat. Anyways, starting off moving the planes a little bit more towards here, and I do actually click on the fucking map somehow, so that cost me a little bit more time. Unfortunately, both of these squadrons are probably actually going to get to commit their drops. Our Z-52 does start turning in, and he actually managed to get a decent dodge through the that gap, and I'm definitely going to get to panic the other squadron. Thankfully, Zed is sufficiently speedy that he's actually able to just avoid getting clipped on the ass by the torpedoes coming up behind him. Really, really unfortunate with the headwind launch getting fucked there, otherwise I would have just been able to arrive there on time to maybe stop the at least two of them from you know, make them panic and increase the chances of my Zed surviving. But managing to panic the other squadron does mean that he doesn't instantly get blatted, at least, so that's definitely quite nice. What isn't nice, however, is that the enemy carrier is now going to have a much easier time of it, because there's a cyclone coming in, despite our team being rather blobby. I mean, obviously the enemy team is kind of blobby as well, especially if you look at the map, but they're a little bit more split out. And they have a... If you saw my planes earlier, I did find the enemy Dimitri Donskoi on the southeastern side of the map, and he's rather alone, so I'm shuffling my dive bombers over to the right side of the map to see if I can't knock this Dimitri Donskoi out. In the meantime, keeping my fighter somewhere central, just to keep this Zed a little bit of play space to work with, and maybe spot some torpedoes in the event that he doesn't have his hydro up, because he is right now bow into the shit, which is not really that good, to be honest, because he really should be considering an exit strategy, and as long as his planes are here, I am definitely going to want to try to protect him. What I do like about the Zed, however, is that he does have his anti-aircraft turned on at the moment, so he's able to provide me quite some nice anti-aircraft support, which means that I might just need a little bit less ammo to knock out a squad, you know, because his anti-aircraft is actually really good and can actually kill some planes. Anyways, going in for this Donskoi, he instant defensive, so somehow they actually get ordered to escort the Zed, despite me clicking nowhere near, and he's not even on the screen for me to escort. I actually wanted the planes just to fly a little bit away and out of his defensive range. As you can see, they're now safe, and I didn't lose a single plane to his defensive, which is definitely quite nice. What's also nice is the enemy cover goes down to our Shimmatorp. That is extremely good. Now, our Shimmy is requesting some fighter support, but for the moment he's fine on that side. He can just run the fuck away. We have the cap, and that's really all we need. I want to try to make a move on this Dimitri Donskoi and secure our flank, because as you can see, it's double blob on west, except for this Dimitri Donskoi, who is pressuring down the west. Now, seeing that the enemy only has one fighter, and that he might actually try to make a play on the other side, I rather late, actually, order my, order my other fighter to head back, and I'm gonna dive bomb through the Donskoi. Coming in with the torpedo bombers, he does actually not use his Damacon just yet, and he's trying to disengage strafe my torpedo bombers. Yeah, it's not gonna work too well for you. Donskoi A does pick up a few, and I'm way too close to make the drop I want. I should have circled around, but there's no way the enemy carrier is going to be making a play on me right now, and I realized that one of my dive bombers actually never dropped. This was played with some really, really horrible FPS drops, But the important thing, I got a flooding on him, and I wiped out his fighter squadron, and I'm just keeping the other fighter squadron on the other side of the map, because that's the side that he is microing right now. He's not microing this side, so I do pick up his fighter. I would never let him escape with it, as long as the UI permits me. I would have counter-strafed his stuff down. But it seems like he's congregating on this Z to try to make a drop on him, perhaps. Because right now the enemy team is, well, I mean, they're a little bit more spread out than our team, which is very heavily blobbed on the, well, the islands just north of A and B, which is a bit unfortunate. What's definitely unfortunate is our Z-52 getting torped to death by the Shimmer, because he's, in my opinion, stuck around way too long there. Anyways, as you can see on the top right corner, the Dunce guy is still bleeding health to flooding and fire, so if he doesn't get a damage on and heal up very soon, he's probably gonna go down, and that's exactly what happens right there. Very good for me, because that's my flank secure. The enemy Shimmer is heading that direction, though, unfortunately. You can see it on the map, just around my fighter. If Henry the Baguette had actually played 7-8 line flank, which is very capable ship for playing flank, the Henry the Baguette. Reasonably good armor, you know, good armor, good health, good guns, you know, he can definitely be quite a serious threat there. I think he's going to pull away from the alpha side. The enemy Amagi is pushing down the one line, so he's pretty much doing what our Baguette should be trying on the enemy, because getting flanks means that you can get broadside shots, and broadside shots means firepower multiplier, or at least force multiplier is what you kind of tend to call it, but that's very important for us because force multiplier means that you get more value from each individual shell, as chances are you're going to be able to, you know, get citadels or otherwise just more penetrations and fewer deflections. So shooting broadside targets, like our Baltimore, which got himself stuck on an island, is usually quite nice. Yeah, I don't think that Baltimore is going to have a good day over there, especially if he doesn't get himself concealed, and I can't stop planes from actually spotting him. But he is rather close to the team, so, you know, I don't expect too many planes to try to spot him right now. So if he's able to extract himself, that's quite nice. Speaking of extract, that Conqueror definitely ain't. He's going ham. I mean, you might be in a Conqueror, but you can't go that ham against 50-60% of our team and expect to get away with it. Anyways, this Conqueror is extending well into the friendly anti-aircraft bubble, so the enemy carrier can't actually do anything about me attacking. I actually misregistered the size of the Conqueror there, and the drop was absolutely horrible. I should easily have been able to pick up more hits against them, but I don't because I'm shit at this game, so next time, you know, for you guys watching, drop the target, not like behind the target, because, you know, it's the Conqueror, it doesn't react that fast. Anyways, just gonna force away this fighter, but the enemy's force is trying to make a move on this side. He does juke out my strafing a little bit, but the planes are kind of derpy, so unfortunately he is trying to drop into the smoke screen right now, trying to put a force strafe through the area just to, you know, force through and get some shit down. Going to put a on-top strafe to try to clip the other torpedo bomber that's trying to run away, and I think it's actually the Moskva that's killing them, but we wipe out a good chunk of the stuff over there. Now more dive bombers coming up on the other side. It's not a major problem right now. My focus should be trying to drop this Shimmer, but enemy fighters are inbound, and well, unless the Shimmer decides to suddenly intern, which he's never gonna fucking do, well, I mean, he's gonna get away. And now chances are the enemy carrier is going to be trying a strafe, and there we go. He does actually avoid strafe a little bit, but I don't actually have realistically speaking, a fighter sufficiently close to actually be able to extract this torpedo bomber of mine if he wants to pull more strafings. Although, personally, I want to try to knock out as many of his replacements as possible, and he flies just into the strafings, which is kind of unfortunate for him. But my shit's low on ammo here, so... but, you know, hopefully the enemy carrier, who is now trying to disengage strafe on top of my fighters, is... I mean, he doesn't know that I'm low on ammo, but I am, so... And he tries to do a strafing through there. It's actually fine for me because I have the replacements to tank it, so he wipes out his own squadron for me, saving me the ammo, and I try to do a counter-strafe against him, but no ammo, so... Unfortunately, that's not going to work, so back to base, both of us go. In the Cyclone, however, we do see an enemy fleet that's also coming in, and since I now know that the enemy carrier has absolutely no means to stop my dive bombers, he will be able to stop my torpedo bombers because of the long time it takes for the Midway to cycle strike means that I can hopefully go in here and do some serious clickage on this guy's health and quadruple fucking fire. Da, comrade, Bliat, 4 hits. Not RNG at the Bliat all. Unfortunately, the guy doesn't actually manage to secondary Baltimore down, or almost at the Moine. And now I'm just looking at the top right corner, he's not damaconing. I mean, as if you're not really interested in damage control partying, I'll just pick up a lot of free damage off you, and 4 fires finishes him off. Really, really, really good luck for me. Now, no actual drop on the Charles Baguette available. I don't really want to try to drop the Baguette. My focus should be on trying to finishing off the Montana. But I know that without my fighters, I can easily get caught. And speaking of which, I did say that I was never going to be able to stop his actual torpedo bomber strike, so our Bismarck's going to be pretty much fucked there. Unfortunately, you can't actually see torpedoes during Cyclone, but he's guaranteed fucked. Now this Baguette is trying to rush Extinct, so I'm basically keeping this this bomber here. I see that he is actually in a torpedo angle, so I'm just going to try to find torpedoes. Now that he's lost his torpedo angle, I'm going to try to click him. I mean, the better thing to do is wait for my other dive bomber to come around and save this for the Montana, and just keep my torpedo bomber in the event that this Baguette does actually manage to, you know, resist getting deleted by Yamato. But I cannot at all accept this guy ramming down Extinct. So I basically tell him that if you fail to shoot him to death there, I will commit a drop. And it is a bit of a waste, but it has to be done. Like, even with the Iowa there, I cannot risk Extinct bleeding down 40,000 health to a 33,800, I think, is it? Or is it 38? Enough health, basically. I cannot risk him losing enough health to a ram and then force the damage control party, because the enemy aircraft carrier will be in a position to attack him sometime soon, and that would probably put him and the rest of our game out of commission. Because right now, while we do have map and cap control, the enemy still definitely has a chance to come back through it, because they have AA ships. I mean, look, they have a Montana, they have a Montana, North Carolina alive, so, and it'll take me time to cycle my strike. The enemy carrier could easily make some moves through. Now, I see that the enemy carrier fighter is here, so I'm just going to give a good chasing onto that. Order my number 2 squadron to strafe at it, and then just get a tag in there with the other one. I see his other fighter squadron here as well. He's trying to do some funky disengage strafes on top of me, but his other squadron is sufficiently damaged that it's really just not going to achieve anything. Ordering my number 3 squadron to go tag onto that, because he's way too close to do a strafe disengage onto that, so that's basically a bunch of fighters killed for free. Although I need to be very fast about this, because the enemy carrier's torpedo bombers should be arriving sometime soon, but these are almost his last series of fighters down. Now I do manage to wipe that out, and I need to get my planes back to the Yamato rather stat. I do find one of his torpedo bombers. It is very interesting that he sent it this way, but, and I'm realizing this right about now, that's a bait. And I'm rather rapidly going to start pulling my planes towards the Yamato, and there we go. I am way too late onto realizing that it was a bait, so the attack's actually going to go through, but I'll pick them up on the way home. But yeah, cheeky play by the enemy carrier, well played by him on that move. Going to pick up hopefully both of these returning squads, which means he's going to actually be replacement pressured right now. And now I need to start running my ship away because, well, I don't really want to get caught. But now that our Yamato has survived and didn't get rammed, this game is pretty well in our favor. I find the enemy Montana now. That dive bomber squadron is too close. That's never going to be a committed drop. I should have flown them past and then come back around the back end to dive bomb him, but his anti-aircraft doesn't seem to be all that good. There you go, finally get the committed drop. It's gonna chase the remaining dive bomber, torpedo bomber away. It should still be loaded. So hopefully I can kill that off, but unfortunately that means I will not be able to stop the next strike because I need to start cycling and my carrier is not even on the same continent. Anyways, Montana did use his damage control party, so I'm gonna try to hit him again. Dive bomber strike, little bit iffy, but I do actually manage to pick up 4 hits and a single fire, so that's good enough for me. So even if this fighter comes along and tries to disrupt me, and even if he does manage to disrupt me, I don't really care. But unfortunately, because I bled planes to strike, I'm actually not able to stop at all the next strike. And there you go, 6 torpedoes hit, so he's more than fucked. That's very useful. That's the enemy top tier battleship removed, and well, this game is despite us being in a little bit of a dodgy situation at some point through this game, I do actually manage to get through this. I don't care if the enemy wants to chase away my torpedo bombers. I can't at all dedicate ammo to cut that fighter off because, well, I'm low on ammo, and that means that the enemy carrier can try to make an attack through. But with, you know, okay, that Yamato's full HP, so, you know, he's more than fine. I do believe I actually compliment the enemy's aircraft carrier, because, well, I mean, I know he's definitely not a bad player, and it's always nice to get to play against someone that's good. He was quite cheeky, but throughout the game, and he did get attacks through, despite me being a 2-on-2 and quite heavily pressuring him. Unfortunate start for me, though, losing quite a bit of health off the friendly Z-52, but in the end, I don't think it would have mattered. He probably would have died in the end, regardless of me protecting him as best as I actually could. Okay, not as best, decently, because I did fuck my headwind launch up, which definitely is something I could have done better with. I do spot the single torpedo bomber squadron. Not really the world's most important thing to be chasing right now, because you know, I need to focus on getting another fighter up. Extinct gets dive bombed, and I tell him, whatever you do not damage control party any of the fires. Enemy Haku is spotted, so, you know, potentially more damage, and I'm spotted by the North Carolina. I really don't care too much. He is actually going to attack the full HP Yamato. I mean, he knows that I have a fighter nearby, but he probably doesn't know that this fighter is rather low on ammunition. So I'm just going to auto-attack him, figuring that he's probably going to try to do some fancy strafe avoidance. I'm just going to sit and tag him, because he is under a rather healthy Yamato's anti-aircraft, so we do wipe the last of his strike capability out. NC's shooting HE at me, whatever. My planes are basically taking off, and even if it does set me on fire, I can always just hit the Damacon button and get my torpedo bombers airborne as well. This guy's sufficiently low HP, he's going to achieve absolutely nothing, even if he managed to hit me, which he didn't. So this game is firmly in our control. My low ammo fighter is pulling back, and I'm sending the high ammo fighter to support Extinct, but we know that the enemy carrier is now basically out of his torpedo bombers, so that's quite useful for us. And I do pick up my Wither. I don't care, I'm just going to drop him. I could have used this torpedo bomber and sent them towards the Hakuryu and maybe gotten some additional damage, but I wanted just to secure my Kraken Unleashed, and there you go, secured it for the Kraken, which is definitely quite alright. And now I'm just going to try to thin out the remaining enemy planes as best as I can, but this game is over. I'm never going to get to hit Hakuryu, who has actually gotten himself concealed again. I will get to respawn him because he's out of fighters and torpedo bombers, so the only thing that he really has left is his dive bombers, which are also getting annihilated right now by remaining anti-aircraft and my fighter squadron. Extinct does get a pretty good blat on him, but yeah. I mean, I'm never going to get to this guy on time, so might as well just wrap this up here. 44 planes shot down, 13 fires, 21 dive bomber hits, which is definitely quite nice. Friedrich der Glosser with 4 dive bombers and 4 fires was definitely a nice save on my end. UI screwing me over and only dropping one of the dive bombers on the Dimitri Donskoy also was a big save here for me, because it meant that I had a fire just to ensure that he goes down. I jinx Extinct a little bit here when I say that he's just going to overpen the remainder of the health of the Hakuryu, and he does, but the friendly Yamato shoots the continent behind him, so hey, lucky me, I guess. And in me being greedy, I want to get a few more plane kills. I'm really just feeding the enemy carrier additional XP right now, because all he's going to do is trigger his defensive anti-aircraft, and I do actually pick up one more plane before the Yamato snipes down the remaining health of the Haku. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this replay cast. Definitely not the best damage game I've ever had, but hey, it's still something, I guess. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and well, I shall catch you guys in the next one.